Get Sweaty with Leddy, a wellness program about pain management. Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Get Sweaty with Leddy. We're at a new location today because the beautiful Excelsior Sauna has a new home for the winter on Lake Ann in Chanhassen. Now this place has a really cool energy around it because the park itself is right across the street from Paisley Park where Prince used to live, and he actually used to have 2 parcels on this very lake where he would just do all of his Prince things. So it's pretty cool to be here. I highly recommend checking out the Excelsior Sauna location for the winter of 25-26. Get your sweat on and a nice little plunge in Lake Ann. So that being said, we are still here to film a wonderful episode, and I'm excited because I met today's guest from our back channel Artimer events, our farmer/artisan events, where we have unique individuals come either bring their art, their food, or their wonderful natural products. And today's episode is going to be featuring Thaddeus from Viva Tallow and his beef tallow. Now you can use these beef tallow products for candles, cooking, or even for skin cream. And we're gonna hear all about the magic of beef tallow and how it helped Thaddeus with his eczema that he had over his hands and arms, and how this magical product basically cured him of his problems. So let's go hop inside, sit on the bench, talk to Thaddeus, and learn all about the magic of beef tallow. We are inside our Excelsior Sauna at a new location. I'm loving this view. We are like 30 feet from the water. Pretty epic.
It is.
And I got Thaddeus Diedrich sitting next to me here from Viva Tallow. As I mentioned in the intro, we first met at back channel Artimer event, but then you also took part in Spring Park Awakening, and I'm super grateful for that because I think your product is incredible and needs to be out in front of anybody looking to, cook with good ingredients, take care of themselves with good ingredients, and your product is just that.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that is tallow, Thaddeus, you got to tell me, what brings you into pain?
My pain journey was gradual but cyclic, and it kind of started with my hands in the form of eczema. So when I was in high school, I had a job as a dishwasher at a country club, Minnetonka Country Club, and I was working with some commercial grade dishwashing supplies. And so that was kind of when I first was looking back, that's when I first tried to see, when does my journey start? I didn't have any skin problems then. My skin problems started 2 years later when I was working at a golf course in northern Minnesota as an outside service attendant, in which my primary job was to clean golf clubs. So we had a 5-gallon bucket of water, and we would have rags in it, and my hands would be going in and out of that. So not only is that a lot of water exposure, it's the chemicals from the grass.
I can totally relate to that, and I can relate to some of your skin stuff later on in the episode, but one of my first, I've done all the roles at Back Channel, right? But I spent a lot of time packaging our beer in crowlers, so my hands spent a lot of time going into our bin of star sand and sanitizing the crowlers, and then, going through that whole process. And over time, my hands would just get incredibly dry, almost brittle, and I would say to myself, man, I got to figure out a way around this because I don't want my hands to just be getting these little cuts everywhere because they're so dry, and I knew this chemical isn't good for them. So the exposure that a lot of individuals experience in simple jobs like that can really wreak havoc. And keep in mind, I was in high school at this point, so just trying to learn about my body at that age was kind of a process in its own. My breakouts that I would have were small at the beginning, so in between my fingers would be blisters. And then once the blisters happened, in high school again, I pop them. And that was the worst thing I could have done, because after you pop them, then it becomes cracked and dry, and even a simple motion of trying to grab something, write down notes, or any kind of grab a handle to open a door, shake a hand was painful. So that was my first experience with pain. And then trying to treat that, and I had a great source of information, my grandpa,
He was very holistic, so he gave me some remedies to follow. Did some cleanses with internal stuff just to take a holistic approach of my body's saying that this isn't good, and I'm at a point where I can stop what I was doing with my two jobs and focus on the root cause. And so I was putting creams on my hands, putting soaking my hand in solutions that were natural. Hydrogen peroxide was one of them. That hurts a lot too. If you think about exposed skin and a soak in that.
Damn.
I would do like 10 to 15 minutes of having my hand in a baking sheet and having just the oxygen come into my hands, and it hurt a lot. But then after that, I would put on some vitamin E oil, and that I did that a little bit, and nothing really seemed to work, even though my environment had changed a little bit. And then from there, I tried out miscellaneous creams too. Unfortunately, Grandpa's stuff didn't work. Maybe it was too natural. But I shifted my environment a little bit. I moved the next 2 years, were inside in the golf shop. And so I didn't have any interaction with the bucket of water there. And I tried balms, salves, eczema-specific soaps, creams, and nothing really seemed to work. And I was doing some research on like what good things to use, just at the grocery store, just very high level stuff of this looks better than this, so I'll try this. The peak of it really came in college. My junior year of college, went to Madison, got my degree in mechanical engineering, lived in an older house my senior year, and the fall time of that year, I had a huge breakout. My hand was a different shade of red. It looked like someone had put sandpaper to it, and it was very unpleasant. So then I turned to steroid creams. Went to the doctor. I knew it wasn't really gonna be a solution, but I was desperate.
Yeah.
And I find that when I'm desperate, I turn to an area that is not the best for getting at the root cause. So I would use that cream, and it would go down. Something about the body is, as we know, it's your body could be a 5-minute delay, it could be a 20-minute delay, it could be hours, it could be even days of your body says yes, this worked, or yes, or no, that didn't work.
Yeah.
It's not like a light switch where you turn it on, it's instant, like I know the light bulb's working.
Right.
So that was a struggle for me as well. Now I'm in college, so I'm using that engineering mindset to kind of do root cause analysis, figure out this didn't work, just taking notes. And although my primary struggle was physical, there is a mental aspect to it as well. Of at this point, it had been about 5-6 years, and I had nothing to show for all the work I was putting in.
Oh man.
So that
the mental anguish that must create,
exactly,
on top of the physical pain, I mean that's only going to delay healing.
Exactly.
Right? And create more frustrations.
Yep. It's kind of a snowball effect. At some point you try to like get the snowball to be smaller, otherwise you're going to be run over. And a lot of that is mental, because there's the obvious physical pain that you can see and feel. There's the mental struggle of what I'm doing is not working.
Yeah.
So then what I did is I did a little more of a deep dive of the ingredients and what I was using. What are they? Figure out what they are. The main lotion I was using, the main ingredients were an alcohol, a propylene glycol, which is found in antifreeze in the car.
Jeez.
And crude oil products, petroleum, and acronyms that I could not pronounce. So I thought it was good, but it wasn't. I did the same thing for my soap. A lot of the things, ingredients had numbers after them, and they just goes to show like the number of ingredients and the quality of the ingredients really adds up. So then now we're moved back home. I did some allergy testing to figure out topically is there something I'm allergic to, everything from foods to common allergies. It turned out fragrances were one of those. So just a mental note for me. And then when I was doing my research, I looked at what would be a good base for a cream or a lotion. So there's the obvious cocoa butter and shea butter, and the oils, coconut oil. And I saw tallow on that list. I didn't think much of it at the time, But I saw it there, and it was a new thing for me. I kind of just parked it upstairs of a data point. And then 3 years ago, I was at a Christmas market in Wisconsin, and I saw a lady selling tallow soap. This was the first time I'd ever seen the product being offered at a market. And I bought a couple bars. And then I gave them to my family, and I used it myself. And within 1 week, Josh, my skin was noticeably softer.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it.
That had to make your hands feel good, but then it also had to make your mind feel good,
exactly.
Right? Finally, like a win, a small victory in this arduous journey of fighting your skin, which is all over us, right?
Yep.
To have a bad relationship with the large organ that is skin is gotta be tough.
The only silver lining is that the rest of my skin got the benefits of the hand pain. Like my whole body was soft, right? Because it's a shower bar. So just kind of that one, like the snowball's getting a little smaller. Like I figured out maybe I can contain it. And then because all these up and downs of good flare up, good flare up, good bad flare up, they seem to normalize. And then I was doing some reflection around that time, and I figured some of the products that I was using are probably not good for my skin. And then that kind of started my journey of what is tallow, how can it be used, how can I educate others on it, and that's when I started Viva, the workings of what would become Viva Tallow.
Very cool. Oh, that's amazing. I can relate to, obviously I mentioned the hand situation that I had with dunking it in sanitizer continuously for hours. But, growing up as a kid, you get acne here and there.
Yep.
And I remember going to the dermatologist and getting prescribed something and then taking that and just thinking that was kind of a normal thing to do. Always worrying about washing my face, always putting on something to treat something. And then when my first year playing hockey up in Canada in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, it was a new environment, and out of nowhere, my face just dried up on me. And I would have little zits here and there, but it was mainly my face had all the moisture sucked out of it, to the point where I didn't even want to open my mouth to call for a pass on the ice because I felt like my face was going to rip apart. And then I'm going to see other dermatologists. Then I'm getting prescribed stuff with a gigantic warning label on it and all of these potential side effects that could happen.
Yeah.
And I got in this horrible routine of constantly washing my face, constantly putting lotion on, and then when I would put it on, it would feel like I would put it on like scaly skin. It didn't feel like my skin. It felt like I was, putting it on sandpaper, in a sense. And it was awful. I didn't know what to do. It caused a mental hardship for me because I just wanted to play hockey, and here I am thinking about this skin issue that I have, and it's preventing me from sleeping. It's preventing me from a quality of life. Later on that season, I was traded into the USHL, and another new environment. And I can't remember exactly what had happened, but I just decided that I was done with this rigmarole of washing my face, putting on lotion, taking this medication. And as soon as I stopped and kind of stopped caring about it, the problem went away.
Same. That's exactly the same. I feel like my journey's not unique.
No, yeah, we're doing too much to prevent the regenerative process that our bodies are capable of.
Yeah.
And science is good, but it's not good. It's not always good when you can have natural processes of healing.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, your skin's your largest organ. So if you're putting a cream on, like mine said for external use only, like do not get anywhere close to consumption. If you're putting that on your skin, what does that say?
Yeah. I mean, your skin is consuming that. You might not be drinking it, right? but there's different ways for your body to consume things, and continuously rubbing it all over your pores is your body ingesting bad chemicals.
And I feel like for me, my eczema, my body's way of getting rid of stuff was through my hands. And so once I stopped having bad stuff come in, whether it be food or topical, I'm not sure the whole holistic story, but what I'm thinking is the creams I was using were bad for me, so my hand was rejecting them.
Yeah.
And it's just a way from learning from the body. Like if you determine that your body should have more holistic things, not for everyone, then you can understand what your body is saying and take advantage of that.
Yeah. I love how you talked about making the mental notes to yourself and trying to essentially reverse engineer how your problem developed in the first place.
Yep.
And I think that's so important to note, because nothing is instantaneous.
It's not.
It's always a process. There's never one thing that's going to be the cure-all, be-all for everybody. It's likely a combination of things, or it's trial and error and not getting frustrated in the process to find something that's good for you. And over the past, I don't know, I guess it just continues on, where there's just so many products that flood the market. They might have some sexy branding on them, and some good marketing to go with it, and they're masking the true, outcome through quality marketing and pretty labeling, where all you need is just a simple, good product to be effective. And that's why I love your product so much.
Less is more, right?
Less is more. You don't need to put all the time and energy into the bells and whistles if your product is good. So how long did it take for you? You said you noticed smooth skin within a week, but how long did the process begin for you then, where it's just like, okay, this is the cure-all be-all for me?
So fast forward a little bit from when I used the soap. I used the soap, and when I was running out, I decided what other products can we use to make, what other products can we make out of tallow. So the most obvious was cream. So the first product I made, it was actually last September, so just over a year ago.
Nice.
I made my first cream. Went to the grocery store, bought the tallow, I bought suet, which is fat from a cow. It's the organ fat we use, so it's right off the kidney, so it's the most nutrient dense, and it's the most least smelling like beef.
Okay.
Because people are turned off by that, so you want to make a product that is somewhat neutral. And got it, brought it home, rendered it down, and made cream. And from there, I gave it out to family as well, because I realized I'm sample size of 1. So trying to see, is this just for me? The soap worked for other people, but the creams I gave out to friends and family as well. And at that point, after I used the cream too, I'm like, this is it for me. This is the product that is going to work for my skin. And there has to be other ways to use it as well. So my first batch of soap I made was November of last year. And then I started making candles, because if you can cook with it, you could probably burn it as a candle with a wick. My mom was the inspiration for those, because she was burning candles. I didn't want to be around with the ingredient list that is implied in the candles. Candles don't really talk about ingredients.
I never thought about that. So yeah, I mean, you're just burning bad ingredients to the air that then you're breathing in, right?
Yep. So the thing I like about the mission is a holistic approach. So there's the environmental stuff, like the candles. There's also the stuff that has a direct contact internally and externally as part of my journey. The candles, and then, so last December, we had 3 products. And the thing I was most proud about, Josh, is 3 ingredients, or 4 ingredients or less in those products. The cream had 2.
That's awesome.
The soaps had 4, and then the candles have 2.
I love that.
And
that's how it should be.
That's what I'm most proud about, frankly, is the number of ingredients I can still count on one hand.
Yeah.
Our latest product is deodorant, and so that's 5 ingredients. And then we also have a sun cream. A sun cream is a product to be used before sun exposure, and we add cocoa powder to it. So when you put it on, it doesn't give you a white hue.
Cool.
Because sometimes natural products, they do have their drawbacks. If they're natural, sometimes you have to live with the performance impacts of aesthetics.
Yeah.
So making sure that the natural skin tone comes back through after putting the product on is really important to us. We're all about simple swaps. Swap the stuff you're using for our stuff, and kind of non-toxic, foundational with nature kind of approach.
I love that. Do you ever have any issues with people who might be vegan or vegetarian?
So at markets, we'll ask them if they want a sample, and we say that it's with beef fat and beeswax because we sample our skin cream. Some people will try it from the vegetarian community. Very few. It's frankly not that much. The vegan community that we've encountered does not want to try our product. They seem turned off by it because of the fact that it's from an animal. Sometimes I've tried to discuss in dialogue of the fat is going to be wasted otherwise, because people buy the meat. That's the primary use of an animal. But then the fat and the organs are just kind of left over. And so
I think that's a great way to inform somebody that might otherwise be second guessing the nature of the source.
Yep.
And that's where you just kind of make that example. There's something out there for everybody, but not everyone needs to gravitate towards it.
It's kind of like spent grain. If you were to explain that story of someone that maybe had a problem with beer, you say like, this is just a byproduct and it's used for the fields to help with fertilization. It's a byproduct of a process, but it doesn't have to carry that connotation with it.
Yeah, anytime you can get a secondary process out of something is going to be a win.
Exactly.
So I feel like this is a very sustainable product, and I mean it's going to be it's going to be tough for a vegetarian or a vegan to buy into that, but maybe there will be some headways and some new reframework and thought that allow for someone to dive into your wonderful product.
I find that when many people try a sample, then the product speaks for itself, and sometimes when I say our product's made with beef fat or beef tallow, that maybe we don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think there's a good amount of the people that come to our booth, whether it be a back channel or other farmers markets, they're really excited by the sample that they try, because when you put it on, just a skin cream, you feel it for a little bit, it goes in, and then after about 30 seconds to a minute, it usually just kind of goes away. So you get the benefit of it on your skin, but you don't have the drawback. I feel like you're wearing it all day.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You know what I love about the benefits of a sauna? the amount of sweat that I get to exude. And so let's step into that sweat. We'll throw some logs on here and return to hear more about Viva Tallow and the amazing beef tallow that you have.
Let's do it.
We are back in the hot room, and the hot room is arising. We've do you typically like to sauna in wood-fired saunas, or what's your sauna game like?
I do enjoy it. I do have a sauna at my gym. It's a little 2-person, which means 1 person for me.
Yeah.
It's an infrared sauna. I'm not used to elevation. I do really like it though. I'm used to just 2 things kind of blaring infrared heat at me, and this is a nice experience. I'm also looking forward to the steam.
Oh yeah, it's
that'd be a new one for me.
This is a true sauna experience. Sitting above the heat source, we're gonna get the loilu. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm getting that there, but that's the act of putting water on the rocks in the sauna, according to the Finns. So yeah, you're gonna experience both of those along with your first plunge.
Yep.
In a little bit here. But before we get to that, we're gonna continue learning about beef tallow and your amazing product. And I'd like to know, Thaddeus, what's a typical customer interaction like at these markets where you are selling your goods? Because not everybody knows about tallow. Yep. I'm fortunate that I do, so I would seek this out.
Yep.
But I would imagine you probably get a lot of people that just either gloss it over, or when you can sense in their energy that they want to know. What's that like?
So we've got smaller farmers markets that we do. We have the events at Back Channel that we do, and then we've had a couple larger events. So it varies a little bit on events, but for the most part, they come to our booth and we say, "Have you heard of tallow? Would you like to try some skin cream? It's made with beef fat. It sounds better than it, or it feels better than it sounds."
Yeah.
Because some people are kind of like, I'm gonna put fat on my skin?
Does anybody ever go like, oh, like Fight Club, when they're getting the fat and they putting it over the fence and then the bag cuts and getting fat all over themselves? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. We've had there's bar soap here, but we have had someone ask, "Is your soap like Fight Club soap?"
Nice.
So we just have a little dialogue of once they want to put the skin cream on, then hold up their hand and we put some on them, and they rub it in. A lot of times they bring their hands up and smell it because we have the unscented and we have the scented versions. But for the most part, just a dialogue of education. So there's the act of sampling, which is tangible, and then there's the stuff that we talk about, like how all of our products have 5 or less ingredients, how our soap bar has extra fat in it, so when you use it, you clean because it's a bar of soap, and you moisturize because there's extra fat in there that our skin can absorb. And so and then the candles have 2 ingredients, 3 if you count the wick, and just talk about how the candles don't, I've noticed personally that I don't have to change my furnace filter as often. It feels like there's less toxins in the environment, airborne. Back to the soap quick, I went to clean my shower about 4 weeks ago, and I was pleasantly surprised there's not much there in terms of scope scum in my shower. So I was pleasantly surprised that my work was almost done before I even got started.
That's a win right there.
And then how our products are safe for the lakes in terms of our creams, our sun cream, skin cream, and soap. This past summer, I actually had a bar of soap at the dock, and so when I'd go out and hop in the water, I'd use my soap bar, and I felt really good about that because A, I knew the ingredients going into it, but B, just how our products are safe, not for human consumption, also for aquatic. We've also had our products being used on dogs to treat a spot.
Oh, so, wow.
Product from animal to animal.
I love that, being a lake guy and trying to, just make sure our lakes are taken care of. I mean, the amount of bad sunscreen that goes on bodies and into the lake in peak summer is just terrible.
Yeah.
So to be able to have something as quality as this, to not have any concerns about the trail you're leaving behind in the water, that's music to my ears.
And getting back to my golf course days, there was a picture that we had in the golf shop of someone's feet, and it was yellow grass, dead grass, and then there were 2 green spots where the feet are. And our ask was, please don't spray sunscreen on the grass because it kills it.
Yeah.
So if it kills the grass,
what's it doing to you?
Yeah.
Not good.
And then the deodorant is our last product, and I feel good about that because there's no aluminum. So when it comes to the pores and the cleaning of the pores, and keeping those clean, I should say, I feel really good about putting that product on because there's nothing to block. One of my things I like to talk about at the markets, coming back, is how our main products, our main ingredients, a fat and a wax. So we have beef fat, which is tallow, and beeswax in our cream, and our sun cream as well. And those 2 ingredients are hydrophobic. They don't react with water. So I found when I go into the water and I'm using the sun cream, I don't personally have to reapply because the product stays on. Well, the next question is, how breathable is it? So there's a thing called the chromiogenic index, in which describes the likelihood of something to clog your pores. 0 being low likelihood of clogging your pores, 5 being high likelihood. And tallow is a 2. For context, coconut oil is a 4. So just saying that we're able to have the product stay on your skin. You're probably not going to notice that it's there, which is great. But you still get the performance, and your skin is able to breathe. So it's kind of a perfect storm of how it should interact with your skin. And that's something that I try to talk about at the markets, because it is such a new product that just when you walk up, it's beef fat on the skin, and then converting to, oh, I should try this because it feels good, and the reasoning behind it is also sound too. So it's the internal validation of the mind, and then the external validation of how it feels.
Wow, I love that. And I love how you've taken, you are the essence of this program because you took something that was a pain in your life and created a purpose out of it in the form of this tallow. You probably wouldn't have been driven to create the tallow if you didn't have anything wrong in your life.
Exactly.
So anytime you can find a maker who has created something out of just trying to heal themselves, that is a huge bonus in my life. And I love how you talk about taking the negative ingredients out of things, because there's a lot of good things that you can do, but if you're not removing the bad stuff, then you're not allowing yourself to heal. And if you're continuously putting bad things in your body and putting a little bit of good stuff in there, you're not able to see how good that good can be. And then the dormant volcano that's inside of you could eventually erupt if you have a string of bad days.
Yeah, I mean, I firmly believe that if I stopped using my skincare routine now and went back, my eczema would go from a dormant state to an active state, and my hands would flare up again. And when it comes to talking about to people about what products they use and just kind of the general awareness, we have some people that come up and say, I use this brand of soap and I've been using it for 30 years and I'm going to keep using it. And then we have a good dialogue of what is in that brand of soap. If you can buy 8 of them for $13, it's probably not that great for you.
Yeah.
And just the awareness of, in your lotion there's an alcohol. Well, we've gotten feedback from people with tattoos how the cream has helped them preserve the ink because the alcohol is just naturally drying out.
Right. So
it's kind of a contradiction of a lotion that dries out. So just general awareness of how products interact with the skin, and that's something I'm passionate about, is removing bad things, and that's how my journey started. And it's part of my mission of describing to people about their personal care as well.
Yeah, and I can relate to that because at my home, and this is driven by my wife Melissa, but have just been, over the past few years, been converting all of our products to clean products. That's from our toothpaste to our deodorant to our dish soap to our surface cleaner. And I have a couple cats at home.
Yeah.
I don't want to be using toxic surface cleaner to clean the top, give it a wipe, and I might have cleaned it all pretty good, but there's still going to be some sort of residue on there. Yep. And then all of a sudden my cat jumps up, lays around on it, and then cleans himself.
Yep.
That's toxicity getting into my cat.
Yep.
All for the sake of cleaning something to that with a bad chemical.
Yep.
And when you can remove those things, if you're paying attention to it, you can start noticing just subtle improvements in the quality of life that you have.
Yeah, just mental notes of, I did this happened. Come back to the candles. Some candles are sit next to a tailpipe of a running car. It's do you really want to have that in your environment? There's a lot of things that make up a routine, and the air in the house is, you think of that as a safe space.
Yeah.
When you come home, it's okay, I'm in a good spot. Just trying to look holistically of interaction and touch points, whether it be ingested through the air or ingested through the skin. Just trying to figure out, learning from your body and then the bodies around you, whether it be an animal or another human as well.
I love our conversation here, and I can't wait to put this fantastic soap on my body in a little bit here. I love, we'll show you all the packaging once we get back inside, but I love how you've branded the bar. I think that's super cool. I love your minimalist approach.
Yeah.
Because one time, Neil Sheehy, who's a previous guest on here, he helped start turning us into clean product users.
Yep.
And he's, able to do these unique muscle tests, which is kind of prove what's a good product and what's a bad product. And one of the things that he told me that has stuck with me is that the better the package, the worse the product is. If you are seeking something out because of the branding, it is likely that it has a ton of bad stuff in there.
Yep.
So it's important to seek out minimalistic labeling, because the money behind producing the product is going towards the actual product itself.
Yep. Like all of our money, small business, right? But all of our money goes to what's inside the packaging.
Yeah.
And trying to focus on providing value through the product and not value through marketing.
Yeah. No, that's huge. And I just love the fact that you have minimal ingredients in there. On one hand, you can count how much is in there.
I take great pride in that too. It's part of my journey is taking the bad stuff out, whether it be skincare, also doing some home stuff. Like I got cast iron pans now, and also in the home cleaning environment too. I make my own toothpaste, or tooth powder, I should say.
Nice.
So just looking at all the stuff that's on the label and trying to minimize that, take out the good stuff, or take out the bad stuff, and then add back the good stuff.
Yeah. Now that we've gone over a lot of your products, I feel like I need to add this into my routine. I really don't have much of a skin routine right now. I don't wash my face. I don't put any lotion on. But I can see if I'm putting bad things in my face, if there's going to be, like a random zit that pops up. Or I also notice kind of just like an inflamed face if I have too much alcohol or bad food. And, I'm very leery of adding a skincare remedy because of the success that I've had. I mentioned earlier that I had up in Canada a really bad scenario. It was probably like a worst case scenario for me, where I didn't even want to really go out in public or talk to girls at the time, because I was so preoccupied with thinking about my skin on my face. But I have a funny story. A couple years ago, Melissa and I were at a spa. We were getting, we just had a massage done, and it was coming time for the facial. And Melissa has great skin as well, but she puts makeup on and then takes care of her face in other ways.
Yep.
But the person that was about to do my facial looks at me and goes, well, I don't even think you need a facial. Your skin is perfect. And Melissa was like, what? I'm doing whatever for my face and you don't do anything and there's nothing wrong with it. And I was, that was a nice little proud moment for me, because I do pride myself on taking care of myself. And a lot of taking care of myself is the food that I'm putting in my body and the nutrients that I'm putting in my body. But like anything, you can always enhance processes in your life. And I look forward to adding your tallow into my process to enhance what I have going for me. So, I commend you for being able to put together such a unique ingredient-less product that is as effective as it is.
Yeah, I feel like the trend is coming back from using a lot of things for skincare to using a minimal amount of things for skincare, just focused on the foundations. And I think this product is kind of ready for that in terms of this bar. For me, it's my shampoo bar, it's my shaving bar, it's my general shower bar, it's my sink bar. There's extra fat in it, so when you use it, you moisturize and clean, and I've found the benefits of that from top to bottom. So
nice.
Minimalist.
This thing has really set the high bar. Oh man. Well, with all that being said, I think it's time to give this little soap bar a run for its money. This is going to be Thaddeus's first ever plunge, but my first ever bathe plunge, because we're gonna test this soap out, get our skin all nice and soft, and come back in here and embrace the contrast therapy that is sauna cold plunge.
First for both of us.
All right, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. That breeze is stiff. Steaming already. I'm liking it. Oh yeah, this is glorious. It's a little shallow here, so I gotta sit down. Oh yeah. I always like to keep keep the hands out a little bit to allow myself to stay in a little longer. Oh, this is a wonderful sandy bottom though. I can feel Prince just hugging me in this water. How's the plunge going so far, Thaddeus?
I can feel some hugs, but they're a little cold.
You can feel some hugs, some cold hugs. I love the scenery around us. Got some geese over there. Yeah, there they are, geesing around. All right, Thaddeus is gonna begin the cleansing process now. No damage whatsoever to these geese taking sips out of the water with this bar of soap. No damage to the fish. No damage to the aquatic plants. This is where it's at. Oh yeah, I'll take some. Oh yeah. Others up real good. Oh yeah. I like how it feels. It's definitely smooth. Pretty good too. Smells great. Getting clean. Leaf's gonna be super soaked that we're getting clean before going in the sauna. Oh yeah. This is fun. Shall we go back in? We shall. Look at that little imprint on there. It's got the flavor, the scent on the side. Yes. Little foot dunk. Oh yeah, that was nice. Let's get hot. Thaddeus, what did you think of your first cold plunge?
Honest opinion, it was a lot better than I thought.
I love how it's such an intimidating thing for people, yet it always goes off well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing when I first started sauning too. It's like sitting in a sauna for 15 minutes, like, oh man, that seems really hard. You do it. I also feel like the transition today, maybe 40, 50 degrees is what we had out there, and I felt a lot of hugs, mostly around my feet. Just kind of, the feet were probably the first one.
Yeah, that was Prince hugging you.
At this point, I can't tell if this is sweat though or water on my body.
Yeah.
Although I wish I would have dunked because I got a little sweat. Yeah, got a little sweat upstairs still.
I tell you what, though, my arm feels so smooth after that soap.
Love to hear
Much
that.
smoother than my leg, which I did not soap myself.
Same here.
But no, yeah, I really like that. That was quite the experience. With two new birds with one stone right there. We had your first cold plunge and my first tallow bathe.
Bath plunge.
in a plunge. It was definitely plunge-tastic. But yeah, so we got your product sitting right here next to us.
Yep.
I love the packaging. We'll get a close-up of this in a little bit here, but if you want to just maybe do a quick little rundown.
Yeah. So this is our candle. It's our Norway pine, so we use essential oils only. 2 ingredients, 3 if you count the wick. And then we have our skin creams now. We have our big skin cream in our 4 ounce and our small skin cream. I like to think of it as on the nightstand or at home and then the purse in the pocket to kind of get a context for size or travel size too. And then this is our deodorant. It's our newest product and nice craft paper packaging. I'm really proud about how the packaging is. There's no plastic. It's glass and metal and cardboard. And then our soap has no packaging. And so I'm really proud of all this came together.
I think that's great. You just sell the bar.
Sell the bar.
It's got the name. It's got I call it the flavor out there, but it has the
scent.
The scent.
That's our vanilla sandalwood bar. I had some fun making soap, blending the scents to kind of because this one here is kind of a nice sweet and earthy tones. So it's got the sweetness of the vanilla and then the earthy tone of the sandalwood. Just having some fun.
I love that. You know, one of the tricks from my beer judge certification program that I went through is I learned through my own trial and error and confirmed with others that if you smell something with your mouth slightly open, it just opens the nasal passageways up a little bit, so you get a better smelling experience. And I can attest that's a good smell right there.
And a lot of our customers, they buy because of the smell too. I mean, there's obvious benefits, but it's when someone comes to the market, it's like, oh, I love that one. Well, that one's good too. Oh, yep. So at the end of the day, it's usually the nostril making the fine decision. And I love to get all that feedback.
That's cool, man.
One thing I like about the markets, yep.
I love that. Well, is there anything else that we should know about your wonderful tallow products?
We have a website, vivatallow.com, and then we also have our Instagram, Viva Tallow, and started up in the springtime, so it's still a little fresh. Still trying to grow that, just grow the awareness of where we'll be, trying to provide people an opportunity to find us both online and at our markets that we put on our Instagram page.
I love it. Yeah, well, Thaddeus, keep doing what you're doing because you've got a fantastic product here. I can attest that the tallow is great for cooking. I'm about to introduce this into my own skin process now. I've experienced the soap, and I can't wait to just experience it all. So I appreciate you for coming on the program here with me and sharing your knowledge about skincare and how tallow it plays an important role in that. And let's give you another first and throw some water on the rocks as we send this episode off. This is the first time that we've killed an episode with steaming it out, so I love it.
I can feel it.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's that like relentless, just punishing heat that you can't get.
You can't see it either. It just kind of comes at you.
Yeah, you can't get it in an electric sauna or an infrared sauna. This is just good old fashioned wood-fired blast right here.
I feel like it's just like the candles. It's one of the things that you encounter, but you can't see it because by no means is it steamy coming out of the sauna. But when you sat down right at that time, it's just a wave of steam.
I love that. Well, on that note, we're gonna call it quits. We're gonna go in for another plunge, and we'll see you next time. Cheers. Stay sweaty.